How to avoid rebounding and getting fat after your fat loss phase. Maybe you're currently cutting down for summertime, for an event, for a vacation, a wedding, or simply just to get in better health, right? Get in better shape. Maybe you just finished your cut. And now it's like, yo, I don't want to throw all of this progress right out the window and actually keep my results. Or hey, maybe you've been down this road before where you went through a fat loss phase, but then you found yourself gaining all of that weight back just as quickly, just to have to start all over again at the starting line. My goal with this training isn't to scare you or discourage you, but I'm here to bring awareness to these things that will come up and hey, give you a solution to go ahead and keep that fat off and not have to go through that cycle of losing and gaining the same 10, 20, 30 pounds every single time you start a diet. That was the story of the first 10 years of my fitness journey. I would do a diet like every couple of months, whether that was for summertime, whether that was for some sort of event where I got too fat. But then I would just stay in that same cycle, stuck losing and gaining the same 10, 20, 30 pounds every single time I did a diet. You see how most people go about the end of their cuts. They say, fuck it. Yo, I already achieved my big goal. Time to celebrate. It's okay if I'm not so hard on myself. It's okay if I take that foot off the gas pedal a little bit, which is completely valid. Right? You busted your ass. You've been putting in that work. You deserve a little celebration. But the result of that is they end up ballooning back up, now with a slower metabolism. On top of that, okay, loss of your momentum and consistency that you've been building, especially if you've been on your cut for some time. You've been super consistent, super disciplined for weeks, sometimes even months. And then all of a sudden, you take that foot off the gas pedal and it's like, shoot, how am I supposed to get back on track now? Might even find it impossible getting back on track afterwards. Because it's like, damn, I got to put myself through all of that again. You might even feel burnt out and like a failure, undoing all of the progress that you made. Again, completely valid, completely normal. But that's why we have this training. That's why I'm making this training so that this way we can prevent that or not have that happen to you again. Let's not do that. Let's not throw all that hard work out of the window. Now, I'm just going to put this here. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into this as we get deeper into this training. But imagine a world where you're eating 1,000 more calories after your fat loss phase. And you've kept the unwanted fat off. Just sprinkle it in there. Just sprinkling and planting that idea in your head. Because it is very, very possible. Let's show you how it's done. Here are some things to keep in mind after your cut, after your fat loss phase. Number one, your body is the most sensitive the deeper you get into your cut. How your body responds to food, how it responds to extra carbs, how it responds to extra sodium. The deeper and deeper and deeper you get into your fat loss journey, you are literally dehydrating your body. Like, pretend like your body is a raisin, and as you go through your fat loss journey, you are becoming a dehydrated raisin. Literally, that is what's happening. And what happens when you give it more food? What happens when you give it more carbs? What happens when you give it more sodium? It's going to respond pretty quickly. It might even overreact. Right? It's like, what the hell is this? Some other things to keep in mind. Your maintenance is no longer the same, especially if you dropped a good amount of weight and body fat. If you've lost 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, what used to be your maintenance is no longer your new maintenance. You have literally stripped away like a fourth, a third of your entire body. Maintenance is not going to be the same no more. You're going to feel lazier and unmotivated because your body is going through recovery mode. It wants to conserve as much energy as possible. Okay? Your body takes more energy digesting the extra calories, especially your carbs after your fat loss journey. You're going to experience higher levels of hunger and cravings. It's not because you're not disciplined. It's not because you're not consistent enough. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It is your body telling you, yo, I'm hungry. You've been starving me. Give me food. Give me more. I need energy. As human beings, whether you're cutting or not, you need food as energy to function on a day-to-day basis. You're going to experience some weight fluctuations and bloating. Again, the deeper you get into your fat loss journey, deeper you get into your cut, you are dehydrating your body even more and more and more and more and more. When you go ahead and eat foods that you're not used to eating, when you give it more carbs, when you give yourself a little bit more sodium, your body's like, what is this? When you do see that number on the scale fluctuate 5 to 10 pounds, doesn't mean that you put on 5 to 10 pounds of body fat. That number on the scale is made up of more than just fat, right? So much more than just fat. We have bones, we have muscles, we have blood, we have so many different things. And that number on the scale is a reflection of how your body is responding to all of these things, like sodium, your sleep, your stress, activity levels, all of that. So when you do see those fluctuations and bloating happen, it's your body readjusting. Give it time. You got to give it time, as it will readjust over time. And lastly, you're going to see a 10 to 20% increase in good weight post-cut. Notice how it's a good weight and not just weight in general, not just fat, right? Especially if you've been through like a pretty long, deep cut, right, where you're losing 10, 20, 30, 40 pounds. Do not expect yourself to just keep every single pound of that off, especially if you get relatively lean, right? It's not going to happen. Again, your body's made up of more than just fat. We have bones, we have muscles, we have cells, we have blood, all of that. When you give yourself a little bit more food, not only is your body going to use that for other things, but your muscles are going to hold on to more glycogen. You're going to hold on to a little bit more water weight. You're going to have a little bit more muscle on you. Your muscles are made up of so much blood, it's not even funny. So just because you see that number scale go up a little bit, it does not mean that you put on fat. Your body is made up of so much more than just body fat. But now that, hey, we gotten this clear, right? Now that we've brought awareness to these things, you don't have to feel so discouraged afterwards, because you know that these are kind of expected. These are things that are going to happen. But I mentioned all of these things right here to bring awareness to the fact that, it is a recipe for disaster if you were to just say, fuck it, I'll just eat whatever and celebrate after my fat loss phase. Now, I'm not saying that you have to make your life miserable and just continue eating healthy and eating salads for the rest of your life. Yeah, go ahead and have a celebration after your cut. But don't let that one meal turn into an entire weekend, and then an entire week, and then an entire month, and now you're back to square one once again. Your mind is going to justify every single celebration that you give yourself, since you've been deprived of good tasting food and calories. You've been in starvation mode. It's like a crackhead who's been cold turkey for a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months. It's like, I need my next hit. And it's not your fault. It is a survival mechanism. Again, food is energy, and we need food to function as human beings. So how do you avoid getting fat after your fat loss phase? With all of these things in mind, you're telling me, Dan, don't go crazy after my cuts. You're telling me, my body's going to be bloating. I'm going to see some fluctuations. I'm going to be more hungry. How do I go about this then? What we do with our clients at Transcendent Phenoms is after their fat loss phase, we put them through something called a post-diet recovery phase. This is actually phase 3 of our program. With our clients, when they first come to us, we put them through phase 1, which is metabolic restoration. This is where we basically optimize your metabolism, right? Get it firing. This is also where we lay the foundation of everything. Phase 2 is fat loss acceleration. This is where, hey, once your metabolism is optimized and it's just burning fat like that, we go ahead and strip away all of the unwanted body fat. But afterwards, phase 3, hey, we put you through a post-diet recovery phase. This way, you don't just lose that weight and then balloon back up, back to square one once again. Most programs on the market, once you lose that weight, they just leave you hanging and you're like, okay, what now? So you're telling me I got to go about this all over again? No. Our goal with our program, with our clients is we'll help you lose that fat and permanently keep it off. We're playing a completely different game here. If you want to go ahead and lose and gain the same 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, go for it. Ain't no one stopping you. But coming from someone that has been through that journey for 10 years, just going about that cycle over and over and over again. I don't know about you, but that shit is stressful. That shit is tiring. It only works until you finally burn out. When here, we'll help you lose that fat, but we'll also teach you how to keep it off. This way you can actually start living your life rather than just constantly being in diet mode. So what is that post-diet recovery phase even entail? Well, what we do is we put you through a reverse diet. It is literally the reverse of what you think a diet is, right? For a fat loss phase, for a calorie deficit, it's you eating less calories over time. A reverse diet is basically the complete opposite of that. It's a time period where we strategically add more calories to get you back to your maintenance calories and to reestablish your new maintenance. Again, once you lose a good amount of weight and body fat, your maintenance is no longer the same. We put you through a reverse diet this way. Hey, you're able to reestablish your new maintenance calories. Also, this will allow your body, your muscles, and your hormones to recover after a fat loss phase. After your cut again, you're going to be hungry. You're going to be low energy. Going to be cranky. You might even notice that, hey, your hormones aren't necessarily where it is or it should be. Libido is down. Energy levels are down. Sleep quality sucks. Feel like a zombie all day. And it's like, why is everything happening to me all at once? It's like your reactions and your response levels are just heightened to the max. It's going to happen. Especially when you put yourself in starvation mode for a good amount of time. What if you don't do a reverse diet after your cut? Well, one, rapid fat and weight gain with a slower metabolism. You're going to notice increase in hunger and cravings. It disrupts your relationship with food. And you're going to notice hormonal imbalances. Everything that we just covered so far in this training. And you're finally back to square one, back to that starting line, losing and gaining the same 10 to 20 to 30 pounds every single time. Now, let's actually put this into action. A post-fat loss reverse diet in action. This is my client Chris right here. When he first came to me, on the left, he was 197 pounds. For context, he was literally doing everything that is considered right and correct when it comes to being in a fat loss journey. Eating 1,500 calories, skating 3 hours every single day, working out 5 to 6 times per week, doing keto, doing intermittent fasting, and he wasn't seeing any results. Picture on the right, he's lost 40 pounds during his foundation and fat loss phase, and he went down from 197 down to 157 pounds in this picture right here. The lowest we brought his calories down dude was 1700 on the right here. Now I show you this because peep this. 10 weeks into his reversed post fat loss phase, his calorie intake was up to 2,700 calories. And we only put on 5 pounds since the end of his cut. Yes. This is what you call a successful fat loss journey. This is what you call having an exit strategy after your diet. This doesn't happen if you were to just say, fuck it, celebrate, and just eat whatever after your fat loss journey. So how did we do it? How did we go ahead and put that reverse in action? Literally, this is what we did step by step, week by week, for 12 weeks after his fat loss phase. Week 1, 1,700 calories. That was the end of his cut. Week 2, we bumped him up to 2,000 calories. Week 3, we saw his body weight fluctuate a little bit, so we just kept him at 2,000. Week 4, we saw that number on the scale still maintained at 155, 156. So we're like, okay, your body's doing really, really well. We gave him more calories, 2,250. Since his body responded so well to that, like he ended up losing weight actually. We bumped him up even more to 2,450. Again, the weight fluctuations started happening again. We kept him at 2,450 for about 3 weeks. Once his body readjusted to that, we bumped him up to 2,600 calories. Again, your body is going to fluctuate. It's going to respond a little bit, which is all good. You got to give it time to readjust. We kept him at 2,600 for 3 weeks, and then we gave him 2,750. No, not 2,750, 2,700 calories. Peep this body weight chart right here. Let me just zoom out for a second so y'all can see this. He gained 5 pounds, adding 1,000 more calories back into his diet. Let's take a second to think about that for a second. He's almost eating like double the amount of food he was eating. And he only gained 5 pounds back. Now, let's go ahead and talk about best practices after your cuts. Like, yes, this all sounds good and all, right? Yo, increasing calories, getting to eat more food. But let's actually break this down into practical steps that you can take. Number 1, put them extra calories to good use during your workouts. You see, if you were to just increase your calories, sure, your body is going to absorb it all. But the main key here is we made sure that he trained hard at the gym. You see, when you train hard, coming out of your fat loss phase, this is your opportunity to maximize and take advantage of them extra calories. With you giving your body more calories and with you training really, really hard, it sends a signal to your body to go ahead and put them extra calories to help you rebuild your muscle. So you're not just putting on fat, but you're actually putting those extra calories to rebuilding your muscle. And what happens when you have more muscle on your frame? You have a faster metabolism, right? Because the more muscle you have on your frame, the more calories your body needs just to function on a day-to-day basis, which is why all those big bodybuilders are eating like 5, 6, 7 meals a day, because that's literally how much food their body needs to maintain their weight. Secondly, stick to a lot of your staple meals. Again, you're going to feel hungry after you're done with your cut. It's so easy to just go eat out, eat that fun meal, eat them cheeseburgers, them pizzas. Again, I'm not saying that you can't have them, right? But stick to a lot of your staple meals and simply have more serving sizes of what you've been eating during your cuts until the hunger levels start to come down a little bit, normalize a little bit. Because if you were to just go all out eating them higher calorie foods, not only is it not filling, but also it's so jam-packed in calories that it's not even enough. And with your cravings and hunger being this high, like you can eat an entire horse, right? That is when it can get really, really scary. That is when it can get it can become a disaster. Number three, prioritize eating your protein and veggies first, before your carbs, especially when you go out to eat during your fun meals. The best analogy I love for this, an example for this, is pretend like you're going to IHOP and you eat a stack of pancakes. Delicious, sugary, fluffy, buttery. I don't know about you though. After 30 minutes, I'm hungry again. As opposed to if I went to K barbecue, yo, I am full for like 2, 3, 4 hours afterwards. And that's simply because your body takes way longer to digest protein and veggies than carbs. Fourth, 2 fun meals tops per week. Again, I want you to go out and celebrate. I want you to have fun. But don't make that thing an every single day, every single meal day. Especially when you're just coming out of your cut. Hey, give yourself 2 fun meals tops per week. Have majority of your meals come from your staple meals, what you've been eating. Right? This way your body is not fluctuating like crazy. Next up, still keep track of your body weight and your progress pictures for accountability. At the end of your cut, it's so easy just to not step on that scale. It's so easy to not take your progress pictures because it's a mind fuck. Right? I spent all this time losing weight and trying to see that number of the scale go down and seeing myself get leaner every single day, every single week. And now that my body weight is fluctuating and it's going up, like I'm not looking as lean anymore. Why do I want to see that? That only makes me feel worse about my situation. Hey, but also stepping on that scale and taking them progress pictures, my fitness coach called me out on this. He was like, yo, this is your number one form of accountability here. Because it ensures that you don't go crazy after your cut. Like, yes, you're going to see some fluctuations. Yes, you're going to experience some bloating. But if you're not actually keeping track of that, how do we actually ensure that we're measuring our progress? Out of sight, out of mind. So still track your body weight, still take your progress pictures. It's going to take a little bit of time for your body to readjust, but it's all good because it's all going to be worth it when your body finally readjusts. And lastly, stay on top of your steps and your cardio for better digestion. You're going to feel lazier, lower in energy. You're not going to really feel like doing cardio. It's like, I'm not even cutting no more. But by getting more movement, and not only is it going to help you burn more calories, right? Which is going to be insurance, insurance, so that you can get away with eating a little bit more food. But also, it's going to help with your digestion. If you were to just pig out, just lay on the couch all day, I'm sorry to tell you, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and your ass going to get fat there. This is not possible. Again, he only put on 5 pounds after his fat loss phase. This is not possible without a post-diet exit strategy. In 10 months, Chris went from 197 pounds on the left here, eating 1,500 calories, to the right, 160 pounds, eating 2,700 calories. He's eating 12, literally, basically double the amount of food, and has kept 35 pounds off. I hope that this training here gave you clarity and it gave you a different perspective on what to do after your fat loss phase. Like every fitness coach and influencer on the internet tells you, be in a calorie deficit, eat less, move more, eat healthier, you're going to lose weight. Sure, no one, like everyone and their mom knows that. Let's be real. Everyone and their mom knows that. But no one ever talks about what about after? Because if you were to just eat less, move more, eat healthier, what? You're just going to eat like a rabbit for the rest of your life? Probably not. But what happens when you start eating more food again? What happens when you stop moving so much? What happens when, hey, you eat carbs, especially if you do keto? You're going to see yourself rebounding. But when you have an exit strategy, when you're strategic with this, you don't got to worry about doing another diet again. Any questions, drop it down below. Let's chat soon.